Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Got a little hobby update here for you guys. It's my Teutonic knights that I plan on using for the Barons War. I've painted up 5 of them from the Vitrix Foot Knight set. I did the ones with tabards to be able to show off the Brotherhood's insignia, the military order's insignia. Instead of just the plain chainmail bodies like this one here. Though interesting, and you can paint on the shield the Teutonic cross and everything like that. Something about the all chainmail bodies, I didn't want to do that. So those are going to be used for something else Barons War related to go with this project in a way. But at first, got this guy here with his flail with some snow on it. I don't think that's going to pick up on camera, but I can see it here by the naked eye. And I've got to paint the rims of the bases. But I'm really happy with how these guys turned out. I put a lot more work into them than models I've done recently. Such as other Barons War projects and stuff like that, where I would do a contrast and maybe a wash and leave it at that. These guys I did contrast where I could, but mainly traditional acrylic paints, a wash, and then bringing that original color back up, and then a highlight above that. Like with the white, painted them Vallejo model color ivory. Gave them a wash and on oil. Came back up with that Vallejo ivory, and then highlighted with Pro Acryl titanium white. And I think that's turned out really well. I didn't highlight the chainmail. I wanted it to look like a more oiled look to it. It'd be darker. Probably gonna have to do another layer of snow on these bases. Just so it shows up better, or maybe it's thawing out some. I don't know. However you want to view it. But, yeah, that was just a thought as I'm looking at them. The leather, I did Garagak Sewer, the contrast paint by Citadel, and then highlighted back up with Vampire Fang. No. Mornfrang Brown from Citadel. The black, I did Black Templar, the contrast paint. Probably shouldn't have had, just because it's spread more, which that's what contrast paints do. Probably should have just used a Baden Black or another black. Here's a guy with an axe. But, and then highlighted up with Corvus Black, and I left it at that because I still wanted it to be that striking black, dark color against the white. And I hope it turned out that way. It looks like it has to me, but I hope you guys can see that and approve of it. But yeah, I didn't highlight the chainmail, but I did like the helmets and the weapons and the belt buckles, stuff like that, so they'd show up against those darker colors. The padded armor I did in Agros Dunes. The whole model got a wash of Nuln Oil. Everything did. I just didn't highlight everything back up. Or the only thing I didn't highlight back up was the chainmail. But the padded armor and most of the scabbards I did. Agros Dunes, and then highlighted back up with Vampire Fang from Two Thin Coats. And the gold, this guy's pretty cool. He might be my favorite. Sorry, I'm touching the bases and some of the basing materials coming off that's here on the edge and a little loose. But, yeah, this may have to be my Baron for now. That's the thing. I don't know which one I want to be my Baron, because none of them, you can't really do any of them up do them up any more than the others. Which, I mean, his sword is gold, but so is that guy's, and he's holding a crucifix, holding a cross. Here's the flag, just real quick on it as I get sidetracked. Flags, for me, to paint are hard to do because they're just flat. Now I've bunched this one up to give it some curvature, and they're hard to highlight. But I think I've done an okay job to where that 3-foot rule, you know, you're gonna be like, oh, that's a flag, and it has highlights on it. So that's how it looks. But the gold I highlighted, I did 10 thin coats Dragon Horde, I believe. Dragon's Gold, excuse me. And then highlighted back up with Auric Armor Gold from Citadel. And that's all the color. And the wood, I did Wildwood from Citadel. And that's all the colors on these guys. But yeah, these are the first 5. Like I said, I'm really happy with how they turned out. I've just got to paint the base rims. I wish the snow was a little thicker. I should have put a second coat of it on there before putting the static grass, but oh well, too late now. And it still shows up as snow. Like I said, maybe it's thawing some or stalled with the movement. Marching troops over it. It's thawed out from the heat, from the friction. I don't really know. But really happy with how they've turned out. So this is the first 5. I've got another 5 wood tabards to paint. Not sure when. That'll be soon. I mean, they're going to be painted up the exact same way because it's a military order. They should look the same. I may do the leather. I may vary up the leather and the scabbards and stuff like that, just so they're a little bit different. Just some variation in there. But in my mind, most of it's going to be order issued materials, or replaced, as maybe what they've brought with them over time has become damaged or worn out or whatever the case may be, and it needs to be replaced. And the order's done that with their materials that they have, and their supplies. So I'll do them, should be fairly soon. But these guys, I think these 3 are going to be the ones I do next. This is going to be a Lord. He's just going to be a crusading Lord that's come and joined the Teutonic Order for a campaign season. And it's just there for the season or 2 or whatever, however long, to help them out, because that was a common thing. They welcomed anyone and everyone that wanted to come up and crusade for however long, because especially when they were fighting the pagans, maybe not so much when they were fighting other Christian factions. But yeah, so I'm going to paint these guys up in some form with a custom coat of arms. I don't think I'm going to try to do anybody specifically. It's just going to be a generic lord or baron with his entourage, his retinue, I guess I should say. Not entourage, but they should hopefully be fairly easy to paint, since they're mostly chainmail and metallics. So I'll get that down and then go over, do the leather work and such, and that'll be it. But that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Like I said, this is the first update for my Teutonic Knights for the year. They're the project for the year that I want to really focus on. Not going to be the only thing I focus on. I've painted some other stuff in the meantime. I've mainly built a bunch of stuff, including these guys. I say a bunch. A few things that I'm waiting on bases to come in, which they should be in tomorrow or the next day. And then I can paint on them and have them ready, have them ready to go and everything. But that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you've made it this far through the video hearing my ramblings, I really appreciate it. But liking, commenting, and subscribing, and even sharing the video helps the video get out to more people. Helps YouTube push it, feeds the algorithm, I guess you could say. But YouTube pushes it out to more people, and especially if you just share it to a friend group or to a friend or whoever and they watch it, I mean, you're pushing it out to more people yourself. So any of that really helps. And plus, I just like to see the channel grow and get bigger with views and subscriptions and stuff like that. A large majority of you that watch aren't subscribed. So if you would, just hit that subscription button and then hit all instead of it being automatically set to personalized, and that way you get a notification every time I upload a video. Really appreciate it. But if you guys have any questions, comments, critiques even, leave it down in the comments down there, and I'll be sure to get back to you. But I appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great, wonderful rest of your day.